this was a freak accident where I had a front blowout and just went into a concrete side barrier. So there weren't other people involved, there weren't cars involved, it was just bad luck. And if I wasn't wearing a helmet, the thing that cracked and broke apart and leaked wouldn't have been the helmet, it would have been my brain.
I caught up with two experienced randonneurs to discuss the single item of personal safety equipment that may save your life in the event of an accident that involves potential head trauma.
Hi, I'm Fred Chagnon. I'm a chapter VP in the Randonneurs Ontario Club up in Canada.
Howdy, I'm Josh Haley. I'm the Regional Brevet Administrator for Ohio under Randonneurs USA.
I mean, we wouldn't let anybody on a ride who didn't have a helmet.
Keep repeating this. Stay safe. Enjoy. It's not a race.
In our region, it's pretty accepted you wear a helmet when you're riding a bike, specifically for anything that's the least bit athletic. As soon as you're doing it for something that's purely athletic and recreational, a helmet's pretty widely accepted. Right, so we want to make sure that the helmet fits properly and that it's actually sitting on the rider's head properly. So it's part of what might constitute a bike inspection or a rider inspection for someone that we just haven't seen before. Right, if they just make sure that the helmet is secure on the rider and that it's covering the right proportion of their head.
3 important points that you should be aware of when fitting a helmet. Firstly, the helmet should fit level on the head, with at least 1 to 2 finger widths just above the eyebrows. Secondly, the side straps should be positioned as a V on either side of the ears. Thirdly, the buckle should be positioned under the chin, and the straps should be fastened to be snug and accommodate just 1 finger between the strap and the chin.
Because if it's dangling under the chin, that means you can pull the helmet off the top of the head as well, right? And we don't want the helmet to be able to move around too much, because if you were to fall, that helmet's not going to be where you want it to be when you make contact with anything.
I mean, in the U.S., we absolutely require a helmet for any of our brevets occurring under RUSA. It actually hadn't occurred to me that somebody might show up without a helmet or an ill-fitting helmet, just because, at least the rides I've been in, everybody's a pretty experienced cyclist. That honestly has never even been something I've thought about is somebody wearing a helmet that fits them correctly. But, Fred's absolutely right in that a well-fitted helmet is, the way to go. All helmets that are sold in the U.S. pass the same basic, I forget what the standard is, but essentially they all pass the exact same, crash test, if you will. Everything from that $40 helmet you can get at Walmart. When you're talking about the $300-$400 helmets, what you're really buying is lighter helmets with better ventilation, and there's something to be said for the value of that. But as far as crash protection goes, really just about any bicycle helmet you can get in the States that isn't more than 5 years old is probably going to protect your head roughly the same.
And that's the only other thing I'll say is if you do have an incident with a helmet, get another one, right? The helmet's done its job. And the way that they're built is, the thing that prevents you from damaging your head is essentially, the helmet's cracking like crazy inside, and it's really built for one time to do that. So, you just have to kind of look, even if it's a $300 helmet, it's done its job. It's time to get a new one.
A helmet is absolutely a single-use item when it comes to having an impact. This particular helmet that he has here, the styrofoam on the inside of it was completely cracked. This was a crash where I had a loss of consciousness. And as I was throwing the helmet away, I just kind of pulled on it and the whole thing just completely broke apart. The styrofoam was not really intact inside, even though it didn't look too bad. So right now you're looking on the outside, that really scraped up. So think of that hard exterior plastic shell. The thing that's really protecting you is that styrofoam on the inside. You can see it's kind of dimpled there. And it had cracked on the other side of this to where the thing that would actually absorb impact when your head hits the ground was no longer doing its job. It had already done its job once and basically bugged out and said, I'm retiring. That was the side of my head. I decided to use my face as a brake pad down in the Florida Keys, so great time. Yeah, small gore warning there. This was after everything had washed off. Yeah, where you can see where I had started to literally leak through the styrofoam here, had in fact cracked through the styrofoam. Yeah, loss of consciousness, bike ride should be over. You need to get checked out. You could have a brain bleed, you could have swelling, all kinds of issues where, I have previously relied upon a bucket of luck, and I think it's a saying about pilots, you start with a bucket full of luck and an empty bucket of wisdom, and slowly you fill up the bucket of wisdom, hopefully before the bucket of luck is empty. So, if you've got something that's broken, like a bone, if you've lost consciousness, there's no ride where you can't ride it again at a later date unless you're dead.
Yeah, we're riding in traffic, right? That's where I draw the line. We're riding in traffic. We need a helmet.
No.
Yep. And there's the other flip side too, is like a helmet is made out of materials that will slowly break down. You think about it, you're basically dissolving in sweat. Somebody who's trying to sell you a helmet will tell you need to buy one every 2 years. I don't know if the number is 2 years, if the number is 5 years. I just know that when I replace a helmet after 3 or 4 years, the color has significantly degraded in the UV light. The inside has slowly started to flake apart just from my own sweat and nastiness. So there is a replacement interval in there where you should consider a helmet, a replaceable item, even if you don't crash.
So I think, so the main take-home message here is that a helmet is an absolute lifesaver in almost any kind of accident, especially if there's a potential for head injury, then you really want to have a helmet. So there's no argument not to have a helmet. Join us in the next video of this series dedicated to safety in randonneuring, where we will discuss how to optimize your visibility to other road users using reflectors and lights. Until the next time we meet, please ride safely.